Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Um, dear all teachers, all wise teachers, and Dharma friends, it's Saturday afternoon during the 3-day retreat at Houston, Wyoming Temple. It's also time for the Dharma discussion. So for the practice, it's important for the practitioner to keep the Hautou in mind. So um, keep keep the Hautou in mind, investigate Hautou, or looking at the Hautou have the same meaning. It means to raise the doubt and maintain the doubt. The target is the Hautou, where no thought has arisen, and only the doubt can lead us to the Hautou. If we base off our practice on what we seek or what we um, try to gain, then the consciousness can create um, different mental states that not really Hautou. Master Lai Wei said, only the doubt can lead us to the Hautou, and the Hautou is to describe the place where no thought has arisen. If we know that place, it means we already raised a thought. Our practitioners tend to want to differentiate or want to gain knowledge, but those activities are sickness. When we practice, we have to use the Hautou as the target, not the question as the target. The Buddha said, we need to realize the self nature due to our tendency to differentiate and due to our consciousness too strong. So when we uh, advise people that the practice is very simple, but people tend to look for somewhere to attach to, but any attachment would be mistake. And Master Lai Wei, in order to help us overcome the mistakes, he keep reminding us to ask the question clearly. Doesn't matter what level you are at, whether you are a beginner or a seasoned person, um, as long as you are able to transcend the ego, you're on the right path. You know, even the one who practiced for a long time, if their ego grow bigger, then they actually not on the right path. So this advice is to help us not get stuck into subject object, the differentiation or attachment, but return to the practice and ask the question clearly, raise the doubt, and continue to ask the question to maintain the doubt. And the doubt is the state of wanting to know but cannot know. So when in our daily lives, when we work or go through our daily activities, we still need to um, we just need to keep meditating so that we don't get controlled by the assuming mind, the attached mind. So for the beginner, you just need to keep up with the practice, then gradually your attachment and differentiation will subside. Um, don't wait until the conditions are right to practice. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Um, you need to always practice. Don't wait until you have a lot of afflictions or illusions to start practicing. Um, we practice when um, in the noisy state or in the quiet state. Keep ask the question before heaven and earth. Who was I? Very simple, very normal. So in lives we tend to be scared when we face difficulties, but if we have deep belief in um cause and the law of cause and effect, then we just need to, like focus on the practice, maintain the doubt. If you have to face something urgent, you know, feel free to resolve the urgent issue and then come back to the Hautou. You don't need to force yourself to forget the about other things, just be normal, do what you need to do, and then um practice. It's very simple. So those are some of our experience that we want to share with you right now. Anyone have any questions about the practice? Please bring up your question. Uh, Miss Phương, please.
Dạ, Nam mô Bổn sư Thích Ca Mâu
Uh,
Ni Phật.
Namo
Con kính
Shakyamuni Buddha.
quý sư thầy, quý sư cô
Um,
cùng các đại đức
the
thầy.
Thai, all teachers and
Con
all
xin
Dharma
hỏi
friends, I have a question.
cái câu hỏi này nó cũng đến từ cái giấc mơ tối hôm qua
This
á.
question came from
Tức
my
là
dream yesterday.
con có một cái giấc mơ là
I
con
had a
thấy một cái
dream
hình
that
ảnh một đứa
I
bé
saw
trong một cái
uh,
cái
a,
song sắt
a,
á.
a kid
Xong rồi
behind the bars.
khi mà mình thấy cái hình ảnh đó cái ngay lập tức cái mình
And when I saw that
ờ,
scene,
nhớ đến cái công án của
I
con trâu ở trong cái song sắt á.
suddenly remember
Và
the công án about the cow
con
behind the
nhớ là ngay
bars.
cái thời điểm đó thì con lại giống như là
Right at that
có được
point,
cái
I
cái câu trả lời cho cái công án
I
đó.
feel like I have
Có
the
nghĩa là
question to that công án.
mình chỉ cần quay về tham thiền
Like I just
thì
need to
với cái
return to
công phu như
the
vậy, khi mà
meditation
mình
and
có cái
then
nghi tình á, mình không biết á, thì
with
mình
the
nghĩ đến
doubt,
cái việc có cái song sắt đó hoặc là ngay
um,
cả con trâu á, nó cũng không
then
còn,
we don't even
thì
know about
mình
whether
muốn thoát
there's
ra,
that bars,
thoát ra
just like
khỏi cái
the
song sắt
cow.
đó mà
When there's
bản
no
thân
bars,
cái trạng thái
the
tâm
cow
của con
doesn't need
nó
to try
giống
to
như vậy
escape
á.
out of the
Đó
bars.
thì đến
So that was the
đến
state that I was
cái ngay
in my
cái thời khắc
dream.
mà mình nói là chỉ cần tham thiền và như vậy á, thì là ngay lập tức
And
trong giấc mơ á, là
um,
mình cũng tham thoại.
and when I think about, I just need to
Cái lúc đó trong giấc mơ là
meditate.
nửa tỉnh
Then I
nửa
feel
mơ
like
rồi.
in my dream I
Và
also
sau
practice
đó thì
as
con
well. It
bừng tỉnh
feels
dậy
like I half in a
thì
dream and
con
half
mới nhớ
awake.
lại là
And then after that, I
trước cái lúc mà
suddenly
con tham
wake
thiền
up
á, là có một
and I remembered that before I
người thầy á,
start
cho con đôi lúc lâu
meditating,
lâu ở trong cái sông
there
Hằng
was
thì
a teacher gave
rồi
me
một thời gian con
a
cũng
quiz about the
tìm
count
kiếm
behind the
cái câu
bars,
trả lời cho cái câu
and
đó.
I
Nhưng mà mãi đến
spent
khi mà
quite
con
some
đi
time
tham
to
vấn
look
sư thì
for
con mới biết
the
là cái
answer to
là
that
một trong những cái
quiz.
công án ở
And
trên
then when
thuyền
I
con.
started
Dạ.
practicing Patriots, and I figured out that was one of the
Thì đó là
Kung
cái câu chuyện nó xảy
in
ra như
Zen.
vậy. Và
So
đến một lúc sau á,
that was
con
the
mới
story.
con cũng không nhớ là bao
And
nhiêu nhưng mà
then
khá lâu
I didn't
con
remember
mới
how
tìm
long
được.
it was, but I
Dạ.
think
Thì
it took a while for me to return
tuy
to
nhiên
my
mà được một
practice.
sư nói là ờ,
I remember
trong
our
cái
late
đời thật này á,
master
mình
said,
cũng
even
có
in
những
this
cái gọi là mở mắt chim bao, nó không
real
phải là
life,
những gì
we
là mở mắt
still
chim
in
bao.
an open
Thì
eye
nếu
dream,
mà
not real at all, let
về
alone
ý thức thì mình hiểu như vậy á, nhưng
a
mà
closed eye dream.
về cái cảm giác thì
My
mình thấy nó
consciousness
rất là
understand that,
gần
but
gũi và nó rất là thực đó thầy.
about my
Và mình
feeling,
cũng
I
không
feel
biết
like
là
it's
cái điều
very
gì nó làm cho
close to
mình
me and very real.
cảm nhận như vậy. Và
So I'm not
mất
sure
một
what
cái thời gian khá lâu,
makes me
khoảng
feel
mười
that
phút hay
way.
mười mấy phút gì con cũng
And
không biết,
it took
thì mình
me
mới trở lại cái công phu.
a while, like
Con
a
cũng
lot
có
of
cái ý định là
minutes
có khi
to
nào
return back to
sư
the
hoặc một trong
practice.
kiếp trước á,
I wonder
cũng
if
từng tham cái công án này
uh,
hay không,
in my past
hay
life
là cái vọng tưởng của
I
con người
used to
tham
investigate
vấn hay
that
không
Kung
á thầy
An,
ạ.
or
Con
is
mong
it
sư
just
chỉ dạy
my
cho con.
illusions? Um could you give me some advice? Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. They said everything has the conditions, like um sometimes we have a lot of thoughts during the day, and at night time when in our dream the thoughts continue. Um, the Kong-an about the cows behind the bars seem to be strange. Um, so it was about a cow was able to get through the window. It the whole body except for his tail couldn't get through that window. You know, it seems like a very unreasonable Kong-an, just like the Kong-an where the dog has the Buddha nature. Our tendency um, tend to analyze. Um, if you read the meditating books of Master Hui Seung or Master Hương Nghiêm, etc., you know, people tend to want to accumulate knowledge, want to explore and analyze, and um, we if we know that is the Kong An, we just need to return back to the practice. Um, the purpose of the Kong An on the Hautou question is the same, is to bring us to the source of the consciousness. Um, the patriarch created um the land of the mind from that point as well. And they practice until the doubt grow up. Um, so what you experience is normal because of the common habits, you know. Um, and don't worry about it taking long, you know, as long as you return to the practice. Lay Master Whaley normally um As example, all the knowing, um, when all the knowing stop, right there, then um, the ultimate wisdom will manifest. But for us right now, if we don't attach to the present, we attach to past or the future. Our memory um, is active all the way, and all the thoughts will generate continuously. But thanks to the practice and the doubt, um, when when maybe some of your past experience comes up, um, including your experience of listening to the Dharma talks of the lay master and of us, it can lead us to generate a lot of thoughts. Um, but as long as you practice and you don't attach or don't cling on to any of those states as real, um, then they are just opportunities for you to practice. You know, it's just um, your longing to want to know the answer. You're wanting to practice. Um, that is very normal, so don't worry about it. If after you wake up, um, get back to ask the question. And the more you practice, the more experience you will have, and the experience of the practice is the doubt. Um, and don't try to materialize the doubt, because doing that meaning we making it the object of gaining. That's why the patriot not usually said, um, the Zen meditation doesn't have anything to hold on to, anything that we can um, differentiate. Is just mistake, and that's why we keep saying the thing we want to know but cannot know is the doubt. And the doubt is the the life uh not knowing versus the dead not knowing. The dead not knowing is the the not knowing of the inanimated beings. But the life not knowing that we're referring to is the doubt. It's a different thing. So maybe because you remember about the Kung An and all the teaching of the patriots, that's why you start seeing those dreams. So don't worry about it. Just keep on practicing. Thank you, Master. Uh, Đi thầy, it's my first time to know about this method, and first time for me to hear about Patriot Zen. In the past, um, I thought my understanding is in the assembly, the Lotus Assembly, where there are thousands of people. Only Master Mahakassapa was able to understand what the intention of the Buddha when he raised the flower. But at the time, I didn't understand uh, that detail of the sutra. my question is, you taught us about the 5 questions. Let's say I contemplate the first question before heaven and earth. Who was I? Um, if I leave the answer right there, can I ask you something? If I sit here but I use the sentence Namo Amitabha Buddha, I feel like this Namo Amitabha Buddha is the already have the answer because it means boundless lives, boundless time, boundless light. So for me, can I combine these 2 methods? Is it fine? Thank you. Uh, I said, you for each method you have to follow the right principle. The Pure Land method you have to follow its principle, which is belief, vow, and um, put put in action. And whether you reach the result or not, it depends on the vow, and only the great vow can lead you to reborn in the Pure Land. Um, Beside that, putting in action is important as well. You know, you have to continuously act on your vow. And when we talk about boundless light, boundless lives, boundless blessings, it's just the explanation of the name of Amitabha Buddha. But in order to truly understand what that means, you have to reach um the stage of one-minded, um unturbulent. You know, if we just trace on the words, what is it? What is boundless? What is innumerable? You know, um, we cannot just explain it. You know, all of those are just to describe the self nature, but the self nature is empty. So there's no way to use words to describe. Um, so um, boundless light, boundless lives is to describe the nature of Amitabha. And in order to truly clear on that, um, they have to um, be reborn and have to get enlightened about the no birth Dharma. And beside reciting the Buddha's name, there's also, you know, contemplating um, the Buddha um, until where they reach the stage of unturbulent, one-minded. For this method, the principle is different. Uh, when we say practice Zen, you know, uh, the s- the genuine seeking is have seek nothing, and um and to practice Zen is to actually, you know, like generating the vow and putting it in action. So Patriot Zen sweep away all of the thoughts, you know, um, only the doubt is there, um, where we want to know but cannot know. So there's nothing to attach to, nothing to abide to. Um, Same thing, Kong An is just a story where we keep it in mind, um, and keep thinking about it, you know, just like when we keep raising the question in the Hautou method. And phương án is also to generate the doubt. And this doubt is to help us get rid of ignorance and see the self nature. So the principle of Patriot Zen is from doubt to enlightenment. So it's different from the principle of the Pure Land, which is belief, vow, and action. This is directly from doubt to enlightenment. That's why we say great doubt lead to great enlightenment, little doubt lead to little enlightenment. So in the Linh Sơn assembly, when the Buddha raised the flowers, anyone who hasn't reached enlightenment will generate a doubt. And that doubt is the seed that will lead to enlightenment in the future. And if they keep practicing diligently, that seed will continuously grow. And in that assembly, only Master Mahakasapa reached enlightenment right away because his attachment is gone versus the others. Their attachment, their differentiation, and is still there. That's why they can only generate a doubt but hasn't reached enlightenment yet. And the Buddha passed down this method to Mahakasapa, method um, that doesn't attach to the written words. So this method is considered direct method because it doesn't use the experience of the words compared to the other indirect methods. And some people created a lot of definitions, you know, about this type or that type of meditation. But in reality, Patriot Zen is also the meditation from the Buddha, very certified through generations of patriots. Um, the patriot said, once the mind is clear, then all of the principle will be clear. So what it means is it doesn't mean that we discard all of the teachings in the sutra. It just means that um, we cannot cling on to the words to understand the intention of the Buddha. We have to reach enlightenment to be clear about their intention. So the practice is very simple to ask the question, raise the doubt, and it this basic method was passed down from the Buddha to Master Mahakasapa in the assembly, and then later on passed down through multiple generations. Nobody tried to modify that method at all. If you want to combine this method with the Pure Land, you are actually creating um a different method based on what you want. So the intention of the Buddha is to help the sentient being to reach enlightenment on their mind. He doesn't want people to go around, but because of different capacity, he needs to create multiple methods. And the principle of the Pure Land method is different from the principle um, of Zen. And they have a question about the three vehicles of Buddhism uh, to help people not confuse about um, different schools of meditation and use the examples of the patriots, the patriots in the wrong way. So the Tathagata meditation versus patriot Zen meditation, there was a Kung An of Master Hương Nghiêm that say very clearly, Hương Nghiêm and Vi Sơn are both disciples of Master Bá Trượng, but when Master Bá Trượng passed away, Hương Nghiêm hasn't um, reached enlightenment yet, and that's why he advised Hương Nghiêm to go seek Vi Sơn after he um, entered the nirvana. After that, Hương Nghiêm went to see Vi Sơn to rely on him, and Vi Sơn know the intention of his teacher. That's why uh, he gave Hương Nghiêm the question, before my parents were born, what did my original face look like? And Hương Nghiêm was not able to answer the question. He he gave up on all of the knowledge that he accumulated from the sutras and just focused on that question. And after 3 years, um, um, in the house in the mountain of the place in the mountain, Hương Nghiêm just live by doing the farm work. And when he practiced up to uh the point, the state where it's genuine meditating, which is meditating without knowing that you are meditating. And when he saw a rock, he throw it to the back, which hit the bamboo tree, um, created a sound. At that point, he suddenly reached enlightenment, and he make a verse. Thầy is saying the verse in um, Chinese, Vietnamese. So the meaning of the verse is saying the the sound of the rock hitting the bamboo tree make make um the object of the knowledge go away. So he did not get stuck in the experience. When the conditions are right, he suddenly reached enlightenment. So what he trying to say is um his enlightenment is not due to any of the specific experience um or skill. um it has no trace. It cannot Um, it has no trace. It has no form. It cannot be. It cannot be attached. Um, and he's not the only one, but a lot of people in the past who reach enlightenment, even if they try to describe um their enlightenment, cannot, you know. Um, and and that's why after Hu Nghiêm reached enlightenment, he thanked Wi Sơn that the reason why he was able to have this day is because Wi Sơn didn't tell him the answer. Um, so we need to believe in the mind. When the belief in the mind is complete, um, and practice, and the Tao will lead us to the source of the ignorance, and right there, get rid of the ignorance and lead us to enlightenment. And at that time, we Sơn asked someone to go test Hương Nghiêm to see if he truly reached enlightenment. And Hương Nghiêm make another verse, um, make a verse, and then we Sơn said, um, if we use the Tathagata meditation to church, then I would say you get enlightenment. But if we say Patriot Zen, then I don't think you get enlightened yet. Can you make another verse? Then Hương Nghiêm made another verse, and right at the second verse, we Sơn feel very happy and congrat his brother that he reached enlightenment for Patriot Zen. So you can see that there's a little bit of difference between these two methods. The Tathagata meditation, there's still the object of uh, enlightened, versus Patriot Zen is transcending object and subject of enlightenment. Um, there's nothing to attach to, or there's nothing that we can use words to describe. So when we talk about the three vehicles, the Buddha said, for our hearts, all the voice hearers, they are able to end birth and death, but they still are stuck in the fruit of our hardship, not completely reach enlightenment yet. They they stay in samadhi and don't want to get out of that. They stay in the blissfulness of of the of, of the concentration. Even though the um the samadhi of the arhat is way better than the uh samadhi of the heavenly being, it's still not it still get them stuck within that. If they don't get out of that samadhi, then they cannot grow further. And the Buddha always encouraged people to raise the Bodhi mind and move away from all of the subject and object. If they still have the fruit of our hardship to attain, that means they are still um in they are still stuck in the object of attaining. They need to continue to practice to end um, the next level. And then for the next vehicle, which is particular Buddha, which is higher than Arhatship, these are the Buddha that are able to reach attainment themselves without teach. So they are just particular Buddha. They still haven't um reached the unsurpassed unsurpassable enlightenment. Only when they reach unsurpassable enlightenment, then they will be able to end the um the term the master use is transforming birth and death, I think. The Buddha talked about the 5 different capacity. And for Patriot Zen, it has to be the capacity of the Tathagata or Buddha or um, the um, the non-fixed capacity in order to practice. So the non-fixing seeds, um, it even though it changed when it hit the supreme vehicle, they will be able to enter into the way. Um, um, there's a question from Nhật Uy. I will ask next time because the time is up. Thank you, Master.
Dạ, con bạch thầy, con định hỏi một câu như vậy, như là ví dụ như mà mình nói là giải thoát ra khỏi vòng sanh tử, tức là ra khỏi
I
cái
was gonna ask a question.
thì cái định nghĩa có
To
một cái
liberate
câu
our
nào đó
birth
mình
and
biết
death is to liberate from the
cái
3
nào đó
realms.
gọi là thất lai, nhất lai, bất lai.
I remember
Đó.
um,
Cái đó là những cái tụng
someone
như
talk
là cái vòng
about
sanh tử rồi chưa, cái nhất.
turning
Tức
inward,
là khi mà cái
um,
môn thoại đầu này á,
different
là
levels
dẫn
of
đi
turning inward.
nó đi thẳng luôn chỗ bất lai luôn thầy.
So for this method, does it go straight to the ultimate level that we talk about? When we said talk about and to enter the stream, it means the different level of the small vehicle. The first level, these level, once they enter it, they don't get uh, returning. The first level, he, they will still experience birth and death for the next 7 times. Then they will turn into arhat. If they attain the second fruit, then they only have to go through birth and death once. And the third fruit is not go back to birth and death anymore. Versus our heart is no birth right there. And not subject to birth and death anymore. So those are different levels of the voice hearer vehicle. But for this, what we're saying is the Patriot Zen, it goes straight to Buddhahood or the unsurpassable enlightenment. And they will have the same knowing as the Buddha. Goodbye everyone. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.